Confidence is not born from a flawless track record, but rather from the courage to embrace uncertainty and learn from our mistakes. When we think of confident people, we often imagine individuals who always get everything right. A polished professional, a gifted athlete who never misses, or a scholar whose answers never falter. Yet true confidence is far more nuanced. It blossoms not from a fear of failure, but from the willingness to fail in order to grow. It's this mindset, the willingness to risk being wrong, that transforms setbacks into stepping stones and doubt into determination. At its core, confidence is about self-trust. When we trust ourselves, we believe in our capacity to adapt, to recover, and to refine our approach. This trust is undermined if we tie our self-worth to flawless performance. We become prisoners of perfectionism, afraid to take on new challenges lest we expose our limitations. But every time we avoid risk to protect our ego, we miss the chance to expand our abilities. Real confidence and the resilience that accompanies it arises when we recognize mistakes not as indictments of our worth, but as invaluable feedback on our journey toward mastery. Consider the examples of innovators and creators throughout history. Thomas Edison's famed quote, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," captures this principle perfectly. Edison didn't view each unsuccessful experiment as a blow to his confidence. Instead, he saw them as necessary data. His unshakable belief in his ability to learn from failure gave him the freedom to persist until he gave the world the practical incandescent light bulb. If Edison had feared being wrong, he never would have endured the 1,000 setbacks required to find a filament that glows reliably. In our personal lives, the same logic applies. Think of learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, or pitching an idea to colleagues. Our initial attempts are often awkward. We mispronounce words, hit wrong notes, or stumble through our presentation. But if we shy away from these opportunities to learn, if we refuse to speak for fear of making a fool of ourselves, then we remain stuck at the starting line. The moment we embrace the possibility of being incorrect, we unlock the only true path to improvement: practice, reflection, and revision. With each tentative step, our confidence builds, not because we are always right, but because we see progress as the cumulative result of trial and error. Moreover, the willingness to be wrong enhances our relationships. In collaborative settings, admitting uncertainty or a mistaken assumption fosters an atmosphere of trust and openness. When team members feel safe acknowledging their errors, they are likelier to share insights and innovative ideas. This collective humility fuels creativity far more effectively than a culture in which everyone feels compelled to appear infallible. Teams that celebrate lessons learned from missteps develop a resilient, adaptable mindset, a hallmark not only of confident leaders, but of successful organizations. So, how do we cultivate the confidence that comes from not fearing to be wrong? First, reframe mistakes as opportunities. When you err, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I adjust my approach? By systematically extracting lessons from failures, you transform negative emotions, embarrassment, frustration, or self-doubt, into constructive motivation. Second, adopt a growth mindset. Psychologist Dweck's research illustrates how individuals who believe their abilities can be developed are more likely to embrace challenges and recover from setbacks. Cultivate the inner dialogue that emphasizes progress over perfection. I may not know this yet, but with effort and feedback, I will get better. Third, share your learning process with others. Talking openly about your struggles and how you overcame them not only reinforces your own learning, but also normalizes the experience of making mistakes. It reminds you and everyone around you that mastery is a journey, not a static destination. Finally, celebrate incremental wins. Acknowledge each small step forward even if the outcome is imperfect. Compliment yourself for taking a risk, regardless of whether you succeeded or failed. Over time, these micro-celebrations build an internal reservoir of self-confidence that is rooted in action, not in an unblemished track record. In conclusion, confidence is a dynamic force that thrives on exploration and experimentation. It springs from the inner conviction that we can handle whatever outcomes arise, even when we are wrong. By embracing mistakes, nurturing a growth mindset, sharing our vulnerabilities, and celebrating progress, we fortify our self-trust. In doing so, we discover that true confidence is not a byproduct of never failing, but a testament to our resilience and willingness to learn. Ultimately, the most confident among us are those who refuse to let the fear of being wrong stand in the way of becoming truly great.